Hello, my name is Claude Taylor. For those of you that know me, welcome back. Those that don't, I hope you enjoy the video. And if you do, subscribe and give me the thumbs up. Thank you. Okay, in this video, I'm going to cover how we go about upgrading the laundry area from a laundry standpipe, which is the waste pipe you see there, and then we're going to change these water lines out, and we're going to go to a little more modern laundry box. And what I'm doing here, I'm just going to break down some of this galvanized pipe and get it out the way. Once we put the new box in, we're going to run copper to the box, and I'm going to show you how we isolate the copper and the galvanized from touching each other. When possible, always try to put some type of backup. Like right here, you see the big pipe wrench I'm using? I'm going to use one of them to hold the pipe still, and the other is going to turn the fitting on the pipe, and we can take the fitting off. Just don't want to disturb any more of the plumbing system than we have to, so because we don't want to create a leak somewhere else, so we just put some backup on it. Okay, now I've got that loose, and usually once you get that, you break that first fitting loose, you can just take your channel locks and just get it right off of there. And this will be about all that I will take off, and from here I will go with copper. And that top galvanized pipe you're looking at, that's going to be the hot side. And the one we're getting ready to work on right here, right now, this is the cold water. And I'm using some True Blue pipe sealant. And this is where I'm going to connect the dielectric unions. And dielectric union is also known as a transition fitting. It's what it's doing is transitioning the galvanized to copper. And it's doing it in such a way that the two metals don't touch each other. Because they tend to touch each other, there's a thing that's called electrolysis that will travel through the pipes back and forth when there's water running through it, and that electrolysis will cause the copper or the galvanized to corrode prematurely. Uh, Sometimes it's the copper that corrodes more so than the galvanized. But with all that in mind, this is going to isolate the two from touching, so this the copper should last a long time, and the galvanized will get some more years out of that. This home's probably about 40 years old. This galvanized is it's old, and eventually, yeah, it probably needs to be replaced. Not due to the galvanized itself, but the calcium buildup inside of the galvanized pipe. But they're still getting good pressure for now. And this is the laundry box that's going in place. And new laundry valves are going to go into that box. And what I'm doing here is just kind of eyeballing and getting an idea of how I can fit this in there without tearing up more than I have to. Now this is something this usually works really good on PVC. Uh, PVC pipe is the plastic white pipe. This is ABS. This is the black pipe. I tried I tried cutting this with the cord here, which it went right through real easy. But the thing is, it went through so fast and it heated the pipe up so much that it just fused right back together and I couldn't pull it apart. But usually this is not the case with PVC. And it's very seldom now that any of us run into ABS piping. This is some old stuff. Well, what I did here is I went and cut it already. I cut it with a little small sawzall handsaw. And you see the 3 holes in the laundry box. Either one of those holes can be used for the waste itself, or either one can be used for hot and cold water. It gives you the option of placing the laundry box where it's most convenient and less of a hassle to work with. And before I put the laundry box in place, I'm going to prefab, which means I'm going to make up part of it so that I can get most of the work done out here in the opening. Then once we're in the wall, there should be very small, minimal work to do. And I do have a bunch of videos out there that's how to solder copper pipe. Just go in and type up Claude Taylor, solder copper pipe. It'll pull it right out. This is propane that I'm using. Gas bottles that I bought from the Home Depot. And the tip that I'm using is a auto tip. You're looking at probably spending about $40 for this tip, but it's nice and convenient. You don't need a striker. Now I'm going to let that cool down before I put it in the laundry box and set the laundry box in place. Now we're back at the standpipe for the laundry box, and right there what you're looking at is a no-hub band. And the no-hub band is used. It's also a transition fitting. It's going to take us from PVC pipe, this PVC pipe here, which is the white pipe, and it's going to take us to the ABS, because it's not, they don't like the idea of gluing CPVC and PVC together. I mean ABS and CPVC together. So we're going to isolate it with a no-hub band rather than just glue it in place. And this is a 2-inch no-hub band. Most laundries are 2-inch waist. And you can see I saved the 2 outside slots for the hot and cold water line. And I'm going to use the end one at the far right and use it as my waist. Okay. Try to make the top of that around there. Into that. Good deal. Let me glue it up. Okay, now that I've dry fit it, looks like it's going to work out good. So we're going to go ahead and put the hot and cold water shutoffs on. And the top also could be used for the waste. It could be flipped upside down. You could use that for the waste, and the hot and cold water could come from the top side. That's what's nice about these boxes. You can use them just about any way that's convenient for you.
So, you already, well, like that. So, let's see. Okay, I want to make sure I get access to that one part if I can.
And this is one of those six-way screwdrivers. You can use it as a, you can pull the bit out and use it as a nut driver. Or you put the bits in, you use the flat end or Phillips.
Do that just yet, but okay. Like that. But I need to cut pieces.
And what I'm doing here is I'm taking the dielectric union and I'm putting it in place with the copper piece of pipe so that I can get some measurements. And I'm going to kind of put this together on the outside before I set it up in here because I don't want to have to try to, have fire behind the drywall and try to solder it back there. So I'm going to do it out in the opening where I have plenty of space to work with it. So what I do is just take my measurements, piece it together outside, and once it's pieced together, put it back in, and I just have a small amount to solder together. And before I even solder it, I'm going to see how well it matches up before I solder it up real good.
Okay, now I'm soldered up.
I look like that's going to work. So let's go ahead and put it together. And again, if you like to learn how to solder copper pipe, I do have quite a few videos out there for soldering copper pipe.
That's my way of straightening it. Okay, now straight.
And the reason that the you see where I have the elbow and that copper pipe is not going to swing is I've already put an egg shape on the pipe and squeezed it into the fitting so it won't rotate while soldering. And of course, this boring through this stud is so that I can run the cold water pipe through the back side of the laundry box and bring it around since there is no other room but the back.
Let me see where.
Yeah.
I might have to get deeper on it. There. They
You
probably.
can see why this tool is so handy.
Heat it up here in there.
You can fit it in some of the tightest spots, and the light helps me line it up and find the mark where I need to cut.
Let's go.
Okay, now we're piecing it back together, and everything should line up and match up just right. I've put there's a black rubber piece that goes inside this dielectric union. You probably just didn't see a minute ago, but that's helps to seal it from leaks. And the plastic inserts are which is what helps isolate the two from touching each other, the copper and the galvanized pipe. It's a good idea when you do end up having to solder inside a wall to have a bottle of water beside you, a spray bottle, kind of spray it down and keep the flames off the back wall. But you see, now you see why I did go ahead and prefab it up. It's a lot easier now. I don't have to reach in the back there to try to solder those other two 90s. This one's a little different. Um, Not much space to work with this. So really prefabbing this is kind of hard. And for those of you that don't know, hot is always on the left side, cold's always on the right side, and I always try to cover this in all of my videos. You know, I know it may sound redundant, but some people just may miss that part, and I don't want them to.
That's, gotta be careful soldering that joker. But,
I see what you're saying.
yeah.
And I'm going to show you later on this on another video. This is the that's the ice maker box. I did the same thing that I did to the laundry box with the ice maker box. And now we're going to go ahead and tighten down the dielectric unions. Okay, now we're just about done with this. The only thing that's going to be left is strapping it down to the studs, like here, what you see, what I'm doing right here.
Some screws are screwed.
And then once the drywallers come to drywall the walls, they'll drywall around this, and it'll look nice and neat. This home is being renovated, so that's why we're not so concerned as much about the drywall and or sheetrock, whichever you want to call it, right there, because I know it's going to be replaced. But I still just got this habit of trying to do it as neat as I can, because I actually don't know how much of this drywall they're going to replace. So at least we're ready.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a trim that makes it look nice and neat once the drywall has covered it.
Okay, that's good. Good.
You done with this part?
Yep, we're done with this. Oh yeah.
Again, I'm Claude Taylor. Thanks for watching. Remember, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, become one. Thank you.